So, I gotta tell you, I just went to go see Ant-Man, and it was just a great movie. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what, I really enjoyed this freaking movie.
Ant-Man is the latest film from Marvel Studios. Ant-Man is Scott Lang. He's kind of a troublemaking guy, played by Paul Rudd. Scott Lang's a guy, he just got out of prison. He's a thief. Well, he calls himself a burglar. He's got some buddies that he does some jobs with, played by T.I. and Michael Pena. And they kind of a ragtag group of criminals. And then we have Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, and he's a inventor from the 1950s, and he's got a particle called the Pym particle. Now, his daughter in the movie is Hope Van Dien, and she's played by Evangeline Lilly. Now, she works for a company called Pym Tech, which is run by Corey Stoll, who plays Darren Cross, who eventually will become the Yellow Jacket. Well, Ant-Man is kind of a mix of two genres of movies. We have shrinking movies and we have heist movies, and they're both thrown together for this really fun action movie where, like I said, Paul Rudd plays Ant-Man. Also, his alias is Scott Lang, and he's basically doing everything he's doing in this movie for his little girl Maggie, who he is not allowed to see because he is a criminal. He's a burglar. So he teams up with Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, once I said, and they had this whole scheme about stealing this Yellow Jacket armor because Darren Cross wants to use it to be involved in wars. He wants to sell it to the highest bidder so they could use it for wars. And so we have this whole heist that goes on with the whole crew, played by David Dastmalchian, T.I. All right, that was just...
It's funny. I knew you were going to do that, too.
All right, so we have...
All right, hold on.
So Scott Lang, he's got his whole group of guys, David Dastmalchian, T.I., and Michael Pena. And he enlists their help in trying to break into Pym Technologies so they could steal this armor. And there's just so much action and the micro photography. I don't know if you ever heard of micro photography, but this movie uses so much micro photography. They make modern things like things that are real life things, and then they shrink people down, they shrink things down, and in the ants in this movie play a huge part. Of course, the movie's called Ant-Man. They're part of Ant-Man's team. They help him do things. And I'll tell you what, the comedy, the action, the shrinking movie, the heist movie, the micro photography, everything goes perfectly together to make a fantastic, fantastic. Marvel has done it once again.
Skip? What'd you say, Skip? You like the movie? And you're going to give it a big see it. Is that what you said, Skip? 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 Oh, no. Oh, well, that was Skip. I think I just said on Skip. I think he was telling me about, he thought he gave it a see it. But what I thought about the movie was, I think Paul Rudd did a great job. I think going into the movie, I was thinking that Paul Rudd wasn't going to take it seriously because, he does movies like This Is 40 and 40-year-old version and, comedy. So for him to do this role, I feel like they adapted the movie and the script to him to where he can be a comedian as well as a serious actor in a Marvel movie. And I thought another weird thing about it too was they didn't show any Disney signs or anything about Disney. It was all Marvel. At the end of the movie, at the credits, it said property of Disney. I thought it was kind of weird because if I'm thinking back now, I'm pretty sure when we saw Guardians of the Galaxy or Avengers, they had something in there regarding to Disney in the beginning of the title. Other than that, like he was saying, microphotography, I thought that was fantastic. I know they tried it back in the 90s with Honey, I Shrunk the Kid, and it turned out okay. But I just think now, since technology is so good, that they're making these movies so realistic to where you actually think that you're an ant in this film. It was crazy. It's mind-blowing. Going into the theater, it was 3D, and then then when the movie started, the lady said, "Oh, take your glasses off. It wasn't 3D." So that was kind of a bummer, but hopefully I'll see it again in 3D. If you have an RPX theater around you, go see it. RPX is fantastic. I think RPX is a little bit better than IMAX. The screen's bigger. I'm gonna give this movie. I'm gonna give it a 12 out of 10 or whatever. I'm gonna blow it off the chart. I agree with Skip about how he said this is one of the top 4, not 5 Marvel movies of all time. And now I'm gonna have to go rewrite my best of 2015 list because, I mean, that was a fantastic film. Do make sure you check this film out. Comes out in 2 weeks everywhere, and I can't say anything else about it. It's fantastic. I'm Vince LaSpada, and we'll see you at the movies. Good night, everybody.